It's the PokerNews Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 862nd episode of the PokerNews Podcast. I am Chad Holloway at Level 9 Studio with Kyna England. No Mike Colts, though. We're joined by a special co-host, Hayley Hanna. Welcome to the PokerNews Podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so surprised you guys said yes to letting me tag along. I feel like I'm a liability, but I'm glad
sometimes we
to
get
be
a little
here.
spicy, you know? Here we go.
It's a big shoes to fill with Mike. You know, we needed somebody who can step up and bring the entertainment and
Someone
maybe
who's
some hot
as
takes.
bitchy as Mike. I love it. I will accept the role. Thank you.
Well, let's talk about the top story. Last week's episode, we congratulated Maria Konnikova on winning her first bracelet, an online bracelet. And shortly thereafter, she didn't get to enjoy it too much because Normad Chad sent out a tweet. Norman. I love Norman, but man, he steps in it a lot, you know? And this was one of those where he said, this is not to throw shade at Maria Konnikova, who just won her first WSOP bracelet, but here is how it happens. And then he basically just goes on to criticize the re-entry format, which he has been vocal about, but did he have to include her name? And she took it to heart, took it personal. She released like a blog post about it, believing that, you know, it's because she's a woman sort of thing. And it's just one of those like, man, like it did taint the victory a little bit, I think. I don't think it was intentional. Like I know Norman pretty well, but I don't know, what were your guys' take on it?
Norm just steps in it sometimes, though. Like, I honestly, like, from his perspective, like, the way his mind thinks, I don't think it was coming from, because she's a woman. Like, I don't think that was it at all. But, like, mind your own fucking business, man. Like, I mean, the rules are the rules, you know? Like, people can do this. She didn't break any rules. It doesn't really need to be pointed out. You don't need to taint someone's victory. You could have made the tweet without mentioning people's names, with just commenting on the rule and the fact that this happens, you know? Because it's definitely not the first time that it's happened. And whatever, though. I don't know. It just, it felt unnecessary, basically.
You know, he always has an opinion about everything. And I love people who are outspoken and have opinions, but sometimes there's just a time where, you know, just kind of shut the fuck up. Like, and also, I mean, like, he's complaining about a reentry, and was this the 888 or was this
it was the 888.
I mean, you know, a reentry in an 888 is one thing. Usually the people get mad about a reentry in like a 25K or a 10K, where I think it's a little bit more relevant, where, you know, being in for 3 or 4 bullets in an 888 is like not that crazy.
And this is very common in live poker. You just can't see it right off the bat. Like, you can see it online. Like, they make a point to say, okay, times 4. Yeah. Like, how many times did, like, Bin Wang buy into the WPT he won? How many times did Chad Eversledge buy into the WPT he won? You know, how many times does David Peters buy into certain tournaments? Right?
A lot. I see it get deducted from the bank account.
It just doesn't get shown. And, like, online, it's just more obvious.
Yeah, I think, too, like, why single this one out, right? I know Maria Konnikova is a big name in our industry. She's a great ambassador. We talked about, like, we've had good experiences. I think she's awesome.
Wonderful human. Right. Love her.
And so to just single her out of all these, there's been other bracelet events. Obviously, people rebuying and winning those. I really do like Norman, and I do think he means well, and I think he's got some great points about reentries, or I'd like to see more freeze-outs. But again, if he just didn't include Maria Konnikova into, like, mentioning her by name, I think everything would have been fine.
Using her as an example, basically being like, she lost all her chips. She entered again. She lost all her chips.
That was a weird way to
She
phrase
entered
it.
again. Like, yeah, it was just a little off-putting.
Also, it was her first bracelet, right?
Yeah.
So, like, to kind of, like, shit on someone's first bracelet, I think is, like, super unnecessary as well.
Well, good job, Maria.
We love you, Maria.
We're in your corner.
To his credit, Norman did apologize, right? And I do believe he didn't mean any malice with it, but he does need to get better with, I mean,
read the room, bro.
Yeah, either don't tweet, or, and I'm not advocating for that because I do like his voice in poker, but, like, have somebody that you can be like, hey, can you take a look at this? Do you think this would be okay? Run it by somebody first.
That's what Jamie Kerstetter does for me. I always want to, like, hate tweet people, and then, like, I'll put it in the chat first. She's like, maybe don't say that. And I'm like,
but
fine,
I'm over here like, yeah, do it.
Yeah, Jamie's the angel, and then Kyna's like the devil, and Kyna's like, tweet it, tweet it, tweet it.
Well, congratulations to Maria on that bracelet win. It was well deserved. We've talked about it here on the podcast. Like, yes, I do believe that online bracelets should be differentiated between real like physical Vegas bracelets. Same with WSOP and WSOP Paradise. But regardless, that's not the way it is right now. And she's got WSOP Gold now. So
Still
I think
cool
that's
to
pretty
have.
cool.
Yeah.
Congrats, Maria.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the WSOP, the WSOP free-to-play app is our sponsor here on the Poker News Podcast.
Woo-hoo.
You see it on the table right here. You can use that bonus code PokerNews and get $1 million in chips. We have been doing a fun little segment called Replay, where we take a look at famous WSOP hands through the filter, if you will, of the WSOP free-to-play app. Check it out. All right, this hand comes on day 4 of the 2024 World Series of Poker main event. The money bubble was near. It was the soft bubble when a big hand happened in level 16. The blinds, 4,000, 8,000 with an 8,000 big blind ante. It was Budway Salhab min raising under the gun, and Ed Pak is going to put in a 3-bet to 65,000, and it is a called bet. So we go heads up to a flop of 10 of clubs, 9 of clubs, queen of clubs. We have a continuation bet of 65,000 from Pak, and Salhab calls it. We then have the jack of hearts on the turn, and things get interesting as Pak makes it 175,000 to go, and Salhab moves all in, 341,000. Pak thinks, eventually calls with pocket jacks, jack clubs, jack of spades. He's behind as Salhab has ace king for Broadway. However, the river, the case jack for 4 of a kind, it's gonna send Salhab out the door. He's not too happy about it though. He had some choice words for Pak. That is your hand of the week. All right, there you have it. We're going to have more of those replay hands throughout the Poker News Podcast episodes. Let's talk PokerGO Tour. They have the PLO series over there at the PokerGO studio, and you were there. You played in event number 1.
I did. I jumped in event number 1. I had FOMO during the Poker Masters, and I couldn't end up playing because of a scheduling conflict. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go play the PLO one. A lot of people don't know this. I enjoy PLO. I'm not good at it, but I enjoy it.
Oh, you're good at it.
I have fun with it. And so I went and played the first event, and they had a huge turnout. It was massive there.
PLO is pretty popular. They've been doing these series here and there. Let me pull up the event number 1. So it was a $5,100 buy. That's not.
Was it 53?
I sold a lot of
51.
action, so I sold a lot of action to be able to play.
She was very excited to play too.
I talked about it for weeks, and then I busted shortly before dinner break. But I had a really good time.
Yeah.
And I got to see all the regular faces in there, and Jonathan Little was in there, Eric Seidel. Jeremy Osmus, like a lot of the people like in the running for the PGT leaderboard too.
And so 155 runners in that one, which is for the first, a 5K PLO. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Your Game of Gold co-star Josh Aryeh was there, almost got it done, finished in second
place. Didn't he win? Oh, he got second. Oh, who won? Dylan Weissman?
Lataro got first. And
Lataro Guerrero out of Spain.
Speaking of dad life, because he just had a baby.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, him and Samantha Abernathy.
Oh, okay.
They just had a baby right before me and David did, actually.
Yeah, Hayley just had a baby also. Yeah. So that's, again, why it was very special for her to go play.
I never get to leave the house, ever.
And coincidentally, Samantha Abernathy is an ambassador for our sponsor.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, congrats.
We talked about her a couple weeks ago. And didn't you used to work in the PokerGO studio too, right?
Yeah, I worked there. I was a food runner and chip runner there.
That's cool. So what was it? So it must have been pretty cool, surreal almost to work there, and then all of a sudden you're playing in a 5K there.
Yeah, and some people were like, "What? Aren't you supposed to be?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it."
Are you taking my Javier's order, ma'am?
Yeah, everyone's like, "Wait, who's gonna take my orders now?" And I'm like, "No, I'm here now."
Well, in the second event that they had there, Dylan Weissman. This was another 5K PLO. So Dylan Weissman is arguably the best PLO player in the world.
He's fantastic. Yeah. I've watched a lot of his YouTube videos. He's very good.
He is just, crushing it. I watched this final table as it happened. It was super impressive. He came in with like 40% of the chips in play and put on like a master class of how to play with a chip lead. And I think there was a bounty element. This was a progressive bounty event. Yeah, so that adds a whole different layer, right? Like people were getting really short, but they were hoping to just hold on. I don't know. It was really entertaining. As we're recording this, the series is still going on. You going to play any more? Is David going over there? Is he playing anything? Is he a PLO guy?
He doesn't play PLO. He's a no-limit hold'em specialist, which, I love that because I like having, where I can be like, no, PLO is mine. You can have no limit. But no, he's not going to be playing. And unless if I win the lottery tomorrow, I'm probably not going to be playing either. But I definitely am going to be watching.
Well, me too. You can check it out on PokerGO. Let's talk, we've talked about him before. Your favorite, Dan Bilzerian.
My favorite.
I know you're not a big fan.
Bilzerian?
I know she's not a fan.
I didn't know that you like Dan Bilzerian.
He's not. I don't know where you got that from.
You're gonna go get flown out on his yachts and hang out with him on the
I
ladies.
do like how on Big Mouth they kind of like spoof the character a little bit. Like they have a Bilzerian character and it's like very much modeled, I feel like, after Dan Bilzerian. But that's my experience with it. I don't know anything about him. I don't know.
Well, a month or two ago, we were talking about he listed his Vegas mansion for sale for $25 million. We were like speculating what could it be. It might be tied to what's happening right now. So basically, his Ignite Cannabis company, and I think they have alcohol and vapes and all that jazz. So Ignite is in trouble with the government. And
shocker.
Well, Dan Bilzerian himself isn't like under criminal charges. It's his dad, Paul Bilzerian, who has been charged with fraud like years ago. He lives in St. Kitts and like he owes like, I think it was like 30-something million.
It's like 33 million.
Yeah, which this was from an 80s and he's never paid it. So now with interest.
Oh, God.
I saw that.
180 million now.
Oh, man.
Imagine not making any payments and just like ballooning that much.
And just like getting to still have so much money like that and owing so much money. It's just amazing how people can get away with stuff like that.
Well, and so that's what this is about is the SEC says that, yes, well, Dan Bilzerian was the face and everyone was led to believe this was his company, that his dad, Paul, was actually the one running it. And they've got evidence and they're coming at him pretty hard here. So it's interesting. I don't think we're going to see much of Dan Bilzerian in the poker world anytime soon.
Is he going to have to testify against his dad, do you think?
Who knows?
I mean, probably, right? He's going to have to be like...
Yeah, it's a hard thing to say.
Deal.
Something to follow. For
I mean, he's currently not facing any charges, so he doesn't.
Currently,
but
there's he's the.
Yeah, obviously a lot going behind the scenes, but it's funny because I actually read Dan Bilzerian's book a couple years ago, and it was actually pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it, and I remember Ignite like supposed to be this biggest company, and it did. It went public, and it was multi-million-dollar company, but here it's like.
Allegedly, didn't they kind of fluff the numbers?
Oh, yeah.
Allegedly.
That's true. Yeah. That's part of the whole thing.
I mean, that's part of the reason they're getting investigated.
Hayley does her due diligence. Hayley is like a detective when she wants to be.
I did. I was like, I need to look into this. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I was telling Kyna, I didn't know if I was allowed to say this, but I feel like Dan Bilzerian is kind of like Kylie Jenner, where he like kind of may or may not fluff his financials, and he's really unlikable. So
I think that there's so much illusion in the world itself, and especially in the poker world, right? So like you see somebody win $1 million and somebody assumes they're a millionaire for the rest of their life or something, when that's not the case. Like
you go to their hand and mob and it says $1 million, pretty much bank on them having like maybe $10,000.
Yes, there is definitely $1 million in my bank account right now, just like on my hand and mob. Man, I wish.
You mean you're not paying for dinner tonight?
Well, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Our writer, John Sofin, has been keeping an eye on it. Like most things that go through court, this is probably going to be a years-long battle. I mean, Paul Bilzerian has been doing this since the 80s.
Since the 80s. I mean, he's good at putting things off, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a fun little story that I came across. There was a poker pro who I hadn't seen for a while, and he won a state championship in pickleball. And it was like one of those, like, I'm going to write this up. I put a big red question mark over his face. Just like tease
I saw
it, like,
that.
who
I was
is
like,
this?
Who is it really?
Has over $2.4 million in lifetime earnings. Really became famous when he finished 13th in the 2005 World Series of Poker main event for $400K. Finished runner-up for a bracelet a few years back. He's a poker media personality. Talking about Bernard Lee.
Yeah, he has a podcast too.
Yeah.
I was on his podcast, I think, in 2022 or something like that. He did like a ladies feature, like a ladies week. And so he did an episode on me. It was fun. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, I've known Bernard for a very long time. He won the mixed doubles with Michelle Tizduria. I'm butchering it.
That's what we're good at.
Yeah, that's what we
are
do.
good at messing up names here at Poker News.
But so Bernard lives in Massachusetts and he plays poker, obviously, but he really fell into pickleball like so many people did and do. Do either of you play? Have you played?
I don't, but my friend who I actually grew up with is like number 3 in the country, Riley Newman.
Wow,
Riley Newman pickleball. And his sister, Lindsay Newman, is nationally ranked.
Shout out to the Newmans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to play. Like, I thought it was interesting. I've heard good things. I know they had some pickleball courts here in Vegas. They have all kinds of them. The issue I ran into was like, you just can't, unless you're waking up at 4 a.m., you're not going to get on the court. Like, they're reserved and there's so many people playing it.
It's a trending sport right now.
It's
Very
huge.
trendy.
Yeah. Well, he is now a state champion over there. And congratulations, Bernard. We go way back and you'll have to maybe play with me someday. Teach me how.
Congrats.
All right, let's talk about some NAPT coming up, right? This is the last episode in October, and on November 1st, the NAPT kicks off. So next week's episode is going to be our NAPT special, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about some qualifiers. So we've talked about the big game, right? We had Lily in here before, and Nikki Limo. Yep. They were the loose cannons last year. So people were wondering, like, how can you be the loose cannon this time around? So they're going to film, from what I understand, 3 episodes this time instead of 2. Or I don't know, episodes
like 3
or whatever.
contestants.
Yeah, 3 different games with 3 different loose cannons. And the Resorts World, they told us about this when we went and had our meetup game. They're doing some free qualifiers. So these are, registration is open for all flights. They're going to be at 1 o'clock starting on, so there's 1 flight on Wednesday, October 30th, 1 on Thursday, October 31st, which is Halloween, and then Flight C is Monday, November 4th. From what I understand is these qualifiers, if you go and play, and I think if you win them, you don't get to be the loose cannon, but you get to go qualify or to audition, right, to be the loose cannon.
But there's only 3?
It says there's 3 flights, Flight A, Flight B, Flight C.
So so is it like the top contestants get to? Because
don't know.
if they need 3 people, they need more than 3 qualifiers.
Wasn't it last year sit and goes?
Yeah,
Wasn't it like
you played some of those, didn't you?
No, the sit goes. No, it was the same day as the ladies event, and I didn't think I would get.
You won the
picked
ladies
anyway.
event, though.
Yeah.
That's why you're too busy winning the ladies
but
event.
Yeah, but still, like
too busy winning the ladies
I
event.
knew it was an audition process, and I just didn't think I would get picked for that.
Right. Well, we're going to have an article up on Poker News about these qualifiers, so I'll dig into it. But just mark your calendars. If you're in Vegas, go to the Resorts World.
Yeah.
If you want a chance at being the loose cannon. You should try it.
You should do it. You're definitely a loose cannon. They might.
And that's what Nikki probably thought. That's what Lily probably thought. And they did,
No, I wouldn't get picked because I'm not going to win because I'm too...
You're too spicy.
Too spicy.
I don't think they'll
I'm
let
too
you...
spewy to probably win also, too. Like, I just go out there and start blasting.
I don't think they'll let you swear on there either, like we do here,
Oh, yeah. No, I can't say fuck. I'm out.
You guys have both dropped the F-bomb already.
Hey, I censor myself quite a bit here. I can't help it. It's a filler word. We're from the Midwest. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's just a regular word that you say.
Well, I'm very excited about the NAPT, but before I go there, I'm going to Montreal for the WPT at Playground. I've been there once before. Either of you ever been?
No, it's a stop I kind of want to hit, though. I've heard a lot about it. I've had some people message me to go up there. It seems fun. And Canada, eh? You know?
That's pretty good. That's the Midwest. So I'm going to pull up the schedule here. So actually, as this episode comes out, I will be up there.
Okay.
Right? So we're filming this a little bit in advance.
We're going to the future right now.
Time traveling.
So I'm going to be there for the October 20th through the 25th. There is there's a Prime event, WPT Prime Playground Championship, $800K guaranteed. That's Canadian dollars, $1,150 Canadian dollar buy-in, and then there's going to be a main event, I believe. Like a WPT, get
like
your
a 10K
name.
or a 5K.
Let me see if I can pull that one up.
Sometimes they're 5K.
Yeah, it is $3,500.
Oh,
with
$3,500.
a 1.5 million Canadian guarantee.
Oh,
So
that'll be huge.
that's from October 24th through the 30th. So this is airing on the 25th. So it's already underway. Check out the WPT for some updates and
Maybe
check
I'll
out
sneak
Poker
up
News.
there. No, I won't.
It's fun. Montreal too is a fun city. When I was there, it was like 10 years ago. It was the only event I've ever worked for the WPT. And I think I've told this story on the podcast before. They would have to pick us up at the hotel in like a van and take us to the venue because it's outside the city a little bit. So every day for a week, Mike Sexton would sit in the front seat and then the rest of us in the back, and we'd just get stories from Mike, and that's one of my favorite memories with him. So, and he won his WPT title at Playground.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting back there. Phil Kessel, who's he played for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. He's like a 3-time Stanley Cup winner. He now is an ambassador for WPT Global. He's going to be up there. He's friends with Daniel Negreanu as well. So I'm going to get to, I think, interview him, have some fun. So it should be, and I fly back at like 6 p.m. on Halloween. So I get to hopefully travel delays or anything, get here and, I don't know, go to a Halloween party or
Are you
something.
going to wear a Halloween costume on the flight, though? That's the main question.
Just so I can
think
be
you
ready?
get free drinks on the plane if you dress up on the plane.
That's actually not a bad idea. I'll have to see. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Do you have costumes? We've talked about this on. We're going to talk about it now, but
I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about being a mummy. Like the mummy from Mo Mummy, the slot machine, because I do a pretty good impression of him, and I'm gonna just go around and like throw green gems at people and coins and stuff. I think that would be fun.
do you want to do the impression now?
So you get the diamonds, and he goes, 3 extra spins. Yeah, it's fun.
That was good. That was very good.
It's exactly what he says, right? You know.
I don't play. I see you play. I like the Buffalo. But
Buffalo seems to be the popular one. Yeah.
I like Buffalo.
She does. She does like degen Buffalo tendencies. Like, you know how the game is sometimes set up. It's like, oh, you should play this one if it's at this number. She does not pay attention to that at all. She's like, max bet pennies. Like,
go big or go home. $10 a spin.
You actually, and we shared some pictures. We'll put them up on the screen. You've done some great Halloween costumes. You did a group one from like Euphoria.
Yeah. So it was with Marley Sprague, Katie Lindsay, and Nikki Limo. We were the girls from Euphoria in 2022. That was fun. Got dragged into that one a little bit, but it was a good time. Like, we had a fun time in Party Bus, and
that was when we met. We met.
Yeah,
that
that's
night.
we met that night.
I met Kyna
yeah.
that night of that Halloween party.
Yeah, because we all like pre-gamed a little bit and then took a bus over to Hooney's.
I told a
and it
dick
was fun.
joke and Kyna thought it was funny.
I
and-
did.
loves
I
that.
really
And then
thought
she
it was
slid
funny.
in my DMs and she was like, "Let's be friends."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. That
So
was
wait,
fun.
did Big Hooney have a Halloween party?
That was in 22, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was 2
and it
years
was his
ago.
last one. He's
Oh,
not. He
okay.
doesn't have them.
He does that
anymore,
4th of
yeah.
July party, which I was at, which was
Yeah.
amazing. So,
Oh yeah, those are always big.
what about you, Hayley? You've had some good costumes.
Yeah, last year I was a duck and David was a caveman. And it's because he refuses to match with me. I try to do couples costumes with him every year, and he will intentionally dress up as something that is like the furthest like opposite of what I want to be as. And
Duck,
it's like
caveman.
honestly like a fight at this point. Like I like fight with him on like Halloween about it. It like gets me like really riled up. But this year I'm probably gonna be a duck again, and since I have a baby, I'm gonna dress him up as a duck, and we're just gonna be little ducklings. And David's gonna probably go to Spirit Halloween 20 minutes before we're supposed to go to a party and find his costume then.
I love it. I love Halloween. It's probably my favorite holiday. I always usually go all out for it. It was a few years back. It's the first time I've ever done it in my life. I wanted to dress up as Lord Varys from Game of Thrones. This is when Game of Thrones was all the rage. So I shaved my head clean for the first time ever in my life because he's a bald-headed character. It was a scary thing,
Yeah.
shaving your head bald. When
You gotta
you're,
live with
I don't
that
know,
for a
38,
few weeks.
Yeah, 37,
Sometimes
38.
it
No, it was
doesn't-
like 6
sometimes
months
it doesn't
before
grow back the same.
That's what I was worried about.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it
luckily
could-
it did,
yeah.
and it was a great costume. And then the following year, I wanted to do another Game of Thrones, so I dressed up as Lady Olenna.
Oh,
so
what?
yeah, I had a
Okay, I love
homemade
this 'cause I love
costume.
Game of Thrones. I'm gonna have to see some photos of this.
This is like a
Here, I
theme
can show
here.
you a couple. We're gonna flash
She's
them
like
on
the
the
GOAT
screen.
character
but,
too. She's the
like,
best.
These were.
Oh my gosh! Stop! Oh my gosh! You're
good.
very great.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. I don't
Shame.
know.
I want you to tell Cersei, tell her it was me.
I don't know what I'm going to go as this year, but I'll
Is it gonna
certainly
be another
figure it
Game
out.
of Thrones character?
Probably not. That's Jump the Shark. Well, now it's House of Dragon, so I guess I could maybe do something there. But I do have a Futurama costume for Zap Brannigan, which
that's a good
I
one.
was thinking about maybe breaking out. So
Or Bender.
yeah, Bender would be good too.
Love Bender.
I don't know how I missed a Halloween costume you must have done. I don't know if it was last year when you dressed as Daniel Negreanu.
Yeah.
We're going to show the video. Well, let's just show the video real quick.
Hey guys, this is the vlog. We're doing the vlog. Here with Jeff, Young Gun, Jeff Madsen over here.
Hey Daniel, what's up, man? Your beard's looking great. Your beard's looking on point
Thanks.
tonight.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, we got recognition.
He doesn't do autographs. It's
I'm
great.
on my
Great
break.
time.
Please don't bother me on my break, okay?
Bother him in between hands, not on break. He has to go to his room. It's 3 miles away, other side of the casino.
All right, I'll get better at doing this selfie stick, I hope.
All right, so until you sent that to me earlier today, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, when did you do that? What's the story
Well,
there?
so there's a bar crawl that we do, I guess, last year was the first year I went, but I think Jamie organizes it. And so I went with Jeff Madsen, and I last minute, it was a couple weeks before actual Halloween. So I wasn't actually that for Halloween. I was a robot. But yeah, I don't know. I was just like, oh, I need a costume. I have all this GG stuff. I'm like, I'll just put a beard on and order a selfie stick and be Daniel Negreanu. And I thought it was so funny because like the whole night I was going around with my selfie stick, like taking interviews with people. And I was like, I should make this into a vlog and send it to Daniel. And I never did, but it was still fun. Like I'd get in people's faces and be like, oh, okay, you're on the vlog now. Let's go. We're on the vlog. What do we have to say? You know, like all the people, because there's a lot of well-known poker players on this bar crawl. And it was just really fun though. Yeah.
What did you use for the beard? Or is it just marker?
Just makeup. Yeah,
Oh,
I just used like some like eyebrow pencil and like some bronzer, and I don't know. It turned out really good. I was surprised my first go at making a beard.
Yeah, that was good. We will have to take some new photos of whatever we dress up as and maybe share them on the November 1st episode, the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
That is when we will be back. It's going to be a special NAPT episode, or very NAPT heavy, because it's kicking off the 10 days of fun at Resorts World. It is going to be huge. PokerNews is going to be there doing live updates. I'm going to probably be there every day. I can't play because it is a PokerStars event and we were in the same company. So that kind of sucks. But if hopefully maybe you play the ladies event and defend your title.
Take it down again.
Here we go. We're going to play it and maybe some other things. You know, we'll see. It'll be a fun week.
Yeah, for sure. Hayley, thank you so much for taking time to join
you
us.
guys for having me. This was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed myself.
Good. Well, you're always welcome back when Mike or Kyna have to go, be gone, or myself. So cool. Fun. All right. Well, we will be back next week with another episode. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.